create any sort of safety nets. Even Hoover does recognize the need for some sort of banking relief near the end of his one-term administration, but probably something that should have been done sooner. So demonized here or sort of looked at, frowned upon here in the States, but in Europe, Hoover is lionized for saving millions of lives during World War I, in charge of the food relief effort. The Food Relief Administration reflects extremely poorly on him, especially in an election year, is an issue, this thing called the bonus army. There are these World War I veterans who were given some sort of a bonus pension, retirement thing, but it was due in 1945. They served in World War I, so this is something 25 years down the road that they will get for their service. In that 1932, that bonus is still 13 years away, 1945. But these are 15 to 20,000 veterans that march on into Washington and camp out at a place called Anacostia. Is it Anacostia? Kostia? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Anacostia Flats. That's how I want to say it. Basically saying, hey, I don't know if you're paying attention to the economy, but we kind of need this money now. So could you make it happen? We're not going to leave till you do. The House of Representatives is able to pass legislation to get these gentlemen their bonuses, this bonus they were promised in 1945, pronto. Hoover vows to veto it. Probably didn't make him look good, but he doesn't have to worry about that because it doesn't pass the Senate. So as a means of dealing with these 20,000 veterans who are camped out, Hoover, Hoover uses the army, the army to sort of. So even though Hoover didn't necessarily support this early issuing of the bonus, which doesn't happen, these are veterans. These are still people. He recognizes that. He tries to get the army, the military in Washington to clear these camps, because this is like a small city, 20,000 people camped out. The longer that lasts, the more likely there will be some sort of conflict. Tries to get the army to do it in a judicious way, and the person who is asked to sort of lead this clear out of these veterans is a Army Chief of Staff named Douglas MacArthur. MacArthur basically goes very cavalier and launches tear gas and pushes these guys out of the Capitol Mall. And once they sort of retreat back to this encampment they had, go in there and burn the place down and kick them all out. Well, there was only one fatality. A baby died, actually. I think from gases being used, tear gas and whatnot. Several hundred people injured. It looks really bad. Hoover looks very bad for this, even though it was not his will that MacArthur be so aggressive. Some people recognize that it was MacArthur's decision and actually cited. There's a little bit known about this. There was an attempt to have a fascist takeover of the United States. I believe it was called the Business Plot, Google Business Plot, and they wanted a general to lead the government. They wanted to overthrow Roosevelt, right? It never got off the ground. It never caught any steam. But like Franco in Spain, they wanted a military guy. The two biggest names in the military at the time were Pershing from World War I, who they didn't think would want to overthrow Franklin Roosevelt's administration, make himself dictator. And the other person who they thought would possibly go for the idea, because he's very egotistical, Douglas MacArthur. But this attack on the bonus army was actually cited by these guys trying to plot this fascist takeover and trying to recruit a general. They said, there's no way that we can get enough soldiers to back MacArthur. because of this bonus army situation that he was involved in. So that was in the 1930s. MacArthur is going to end up being very popular after World War II. I think history's been fair to him, not kind though. He's not as popular now as he used to be. So I really can't resist not saying I think MacArthur was an asshole. So pardon my language. But anyways, so that's the bonus army situation. Herbert Hoover Roosevelt's going to win a very, very election by a substantial margin, promising a new deal to folks.